The New York Knicks, they started off the new year with a win, 112-106 victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves at the Garden on New Year's Day. OG Anunoby, newly acquired Knick, also made his debut. Ian Begley, he's here with us. He was there and is still there at the Garden, joins us from the Garden now. Ian, Happy New Year. How you doing, man?
Happy New Year, Dex. I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. You know who else is doing well? That is the New York Knicks. They get the win, but fans were happy to see OG Anunoby play his first game in a Knick uniform. So I got to ask you this. 17 points in 35 minutes. He did foul out. What did you make of his performance, and how do you think that he impacted the Knicks in this game?
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, Jalen Brunson said afterward that OG came to him and he's like, I'm not really sure what to do. And Brunson said, just cut, just keep cutting. And obviously OG not having a lot of preparation for this game, but for him to not really be prepared and do what he did, I think that's a great sign for where this thing could go because he looked very comfortable out there. He was 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, and he defended Anthony Edwards for much of the afternoon, and particularly late in the fourth quarter before he fouled out. He had a couple possessions there where he bottled Edwards up as the Timberwolves were trying to come back. So he made some really significant plays in what was a big win for the Knicks.
Yeah, definitely a big win for them on New Year's Day. One of the concerns, Ian, as you know, what some fans had with this trade with Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett going out was how would they replace the points from those two guys? And in this game, we saw Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle have to handle a lot with the ball, which is what they generally do. Do you look at the way this team is now with OG Anunoby and the way the roster has changed? Do they need another ball handler to sort of alleviate some of the scoring load and ball handling responsibilities for Brunson and Randle?
I think what you'll see is Tom Thibodeau really put Brunson on the floor at some point, with the second unit, put Randle on the floor at some points with the second unit. So the Knicks may have a primary scorer, whether it's Brunson or Randle, on the floor for much of the game. And then maybe that alleviates the need for another ball handler. But it's going to be a work in progress. Tom Thibodeau talked about how he's just going to have to learn the group and learn what works best for the club. I think, though, you can bank on seeing Randle and Brunson playing with the other one on the bench more often than you did before this Anunoby deal.
Yeah, it's going to be some adjustments there. Knicks did play pretty well offensively. 5 players in double figures in this one. Last thing for me, Ian, just want to look ahead. Obviously, this was a great win against the team with the best record in the Western Conference, so you have to be happy about that. But the Knicks coming up this week, they host the Bulls on Wednesday, then on the road for 2 games at Philly, down in D.C. to battle the Wizards. What are you keeping your eye on with this team as they move forward this week, now with OG Anunoby in the fold?
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the defensive numbers overall look after those few games, and then also how Anunoby kind of integrates himself into what the Knicks do in terms of cutting off the ball. I thought there was much more off-ball movement against Minnesota than you had seen previously from this team. So I'm keeping an eye on that. And then we mentioned it, right? The bench scoring and how Tom Thibodeau changes his rotations. Maybe have Brunson or Randle out there with the second unit and how that impacts things. But so far, so good for OG Anunoby in New York here. I don't think you could have asked for a better debut from the Knicks' newest acquisition.
Knicks fans have to be happy about that. Saw what he can do, stretching the floor, hitting those corner threes, and playing some defense, as you mentioned, Ian. That is Ian Begley, SNY Knicks and Nets reporter, always doing a fantastic job. Once again, Happy New Year again to you, Ian, and we will talk soon.
Appreciate you, Dex. That sounds good.